Welcome to the show, Mr. Ivan on Tech. Thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to see you, bud.
Thanks, Elliot. Good to be here. We've done some shows in the past, but it's good to be here as the markets have changed. Everything has changed. It's like a new month, we have a new market. And let's discuss the markets. Let's discuss the tech, NFCs, whatever you guys want, we will be discussing that.
I'm super excited. So first of all, because you're not literally as visible these days as you have been, there's even some people in the audience who might not be super familiar with you. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your background, how you got into crypto and your journey. Can you talk a little bit about how you started and how you ended up as Ivan on Tech, the man that we know and love here on YouTube?
Sure. For sure. So I've always been a programmer. Since 9 years old, I've been developing. Why? Because I played a lot of online gaming. I was RuneScape addict. So I played a lot of RuneScape. One day my account was hacked, and that's how I started programming, because I thought, let's create our own game. My friends and I, we thought, how do we create our own game, our own RuneScape? So that's how it started. I was 9, and of course, I didn't really understand how difficult it is. So I learned HTML, and then I thought, okay, I can make websites. I thought I would be able to make games with HTML, but you realize it's not enough. So then JavaScript, PHP, and then it's never-ending journey. So that's how I became a developer and went to KTH here in Stockholm, which is the best computer science university, and worked at Ericsson as a software engineer. And crypto has always been my background passion. It's not that I've been doing it since 2013 full-time, but I've been in the community. Not full-time, but I've been in the community. And then in 2017, I started to teach people programming on YouTube. So actually, Ivan on Tech was the development channel from day one. But then one day, when I had like 50 subscribers and I was maybe 2-3 weeks into my YouTube journey, I made a video about Ethereum, like a development platform. And that blew up because that was in 2017. And it blew up completely. And then I thought, okay, now I'm only crypto. and then you realize how much opportunity there is in terms of building. I mean, this whole space is blowing up. So that's why for me, this was a no-brainer to go full-time crypto and create an educational platform, Ivan on Tech. And now we're also building our own infrastructure platform, which is Moralis for dApps. And it's so good to be working with you guys at SuperFarm and providing infrastructure for you. So it's a lot, but most importantly, for all of you watching, whatever you're doing now, drop it and try to go into crypto. You are a designer, be a designer in crypto. You're a lawyer, be a lawyer in crypto, because crypto is gonna grow maybe 1,000 times in the next few years. And this industry needs exactly the same talent like all other industries. So you can really be useful, and you can be top professional in the world, because you're not competing with a lot of people in crypto. It's still very empty here. So that's the power of crypto. Everyone who is doing something and is dedicated, you're automatically basically top world professional, because compared to other industries, it's not a lot of competition here, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, the thirst for talent is unbelievable, I can tell you, and I'm sure you experience it. We're going to get to full-time crypto, which is actually here on the agenda, as I know that's a passionate point for you, and I completely agree as two people here who have gone full-time crypto and dramatically had their lives changed from it. So you made this video. By the way, I wanted to also say there's an amazing trend of really brilliant folks having started out as gamers, and I absolutely love that. And that's why I'm also very passionate about crypto and gaming. But I wanted to talk a little bit. So you started making YouTube videos, and you started building your academy. What was that journey like, and what did you learn along the way about the crypto industry, about what the industry really needs?
Well, the industry needs people that can organize teams and the companies, because at the end of the day, that's how we as human beings are productive. You need organizations. You need many people to work together to produce something. So with Academy, for me, the biggest lesson was how to structure a team, how to delegate. I remember I started the Academy with my partner, Philip. So in the beginning, we were answering all the forum requests where we help people with homework, and then all the support tickets, and then we did all promotions and all landing pages. It became very unsustainable very quickly. So for us, it was very important to learn how to delegate. And as a new entrepreneur, when you start your own business, you want to do everything yourself because you think that nobody else can do the quality you can. But it's very important to let it go as soon as possible and ask the question, not how we should do it, but who should do it? That was the breaking moment for me, that when I have a problem, I'm never asking, how should we solve it? I'm always thinking, who should solve it? Because that's how you have to think. And that's also how you're helping crypto and how you really ensure that this industry grows. If you can organize some team that does amazing work, that's how it grows. So for us, it was this, and many people from the same team and many people that we've met during that academy journey is also now working with us on Moralis, because we built a great team of engineers to build actual academy academy platform, but also to educate people, to be mentors. Our academy, it's very, very high quality in terms of mentoring. We basically give people a mentor. They talk on Skype or on Google, and they really program together. We've had that service for quite some time. So through that, we've met a great team of great engineers that also is now helping us a lot with our Moralis project, which is massive for us at this point.
Yeah, and I can't wait to dive into this Moralis stuff. We're going to go super deep into that. Obviously, as you indicated just now, SuperFarm is using Moralis, and it has been a total painkiller for us, an incredible utility for us to speed up our own development. And that's why I'm so excited to bring you on as a guest, finally, on the Elio Trades channel as the entrepreneur Ivan on Tech. But before we get there, I just need to get a little good old dose of that Good Morning Crypto feel. I used to wake up every day with Good Morning Crypto, and now that you're an entrepreneur, I don't get as much of it. So I'd like to know, Ivan, what's going on right now in the markets?
Well, the markets right now are very interesting because we are flashing out all the insanity. And, we've had so many warning signs, Shiba Inu through the roof, all kinds of, there is this, I don't know, it's like a non-kids friendly coin as well that Elon Musk even promoted afterwards that went viral as well. And we've been deserving this. What happens now, we've deserved it. And Bitcoin is still high. That's the thing. When you look just in October, it was 5, 7, 6K, then 9, and then quickly shot to 20. So it's still very, very high if you compare to October, September, not even a year ago, So that's number one. And since we dropped to 30K on my channel, I've been pretty clear that I don't think it's going to be V-shape. And I think there have been many different opinions, but I've been pretty clear, no, it's not going to be V-shape. It normally takes time to really reset the psychology because the psychology needs to be reset. This FOMO needs to disappear. People need to get disappointed and then we come back. So I'm in the same view right now that still we are waiting for people to give up a bit more. And I'm feeling that people are starting to give up. There is less and less moon talk, and people are not that excited when Bitcoin pumps $1,000 like it was just a few weeks ago. You remember we went from 30K to 35, and now everyone is on the rocket ship again. And I feel that now whenever Bitcoin goes up a bit, people are not as excited, which is actually good. And so it will pump when people least expect it. And it could happen already in October, November. I really changed a bit my perspective on how long this bear moment is going to take. I think it's not going to be longer than maybe to October, maybe November. You know why? Because of stable coins. The banks don't even want to accept your money. That's what we're seeing in many cases. Yesterday, we saw that banks don't want you to send money to Binance, but previously we've also been hearing that people try to cash out crypto. They cannot send it to a bank. Okay, perfect. So you keep it in stable coins, which means that you can easily redeploy it. Now we have billions and hundreds of billions in stable coins. So this means that it's so easy for the community to just go back. And we know how our community is. They're not going to be in stable coins for long. The hands are starting to itch and the hands will click the buy button quickly. So that is number one. Number two is also the tech that like we've been discussing before the show. Layer 2s, you know that ZK Sync is gonna come out in August, which is rollups completely on math without any validators like in optimistic rollups. So that's going to be huge. We see so much innovation. So it's a big difference from 2018, from 2019, where we did not have a lot of innovation, that bear market. It was basically when Compound and Uniswap came out closer to 2020 that the market restarted because people started to see how amazing DeFi is and you can trade and you can do whatever you want. But now I feel that we can have such a technological revolution way quicker, maybe already this autumn, in September, in October. It can happen already potentially if we see some craziness on layer 2, because layer 2s can take this market to a global adoption. And always tech is not adopted, and then suddenly mass adopted. This is like internet got adopted. TCP/IP started in 70s. So TCP/IP, the base protocol of internet, started in the 70s, and it took off overnight, basically, in the late 90s. So the same thing is going to happen with crypto. Yes, we've been not world adopted, but then suddenly it's going to be world adopted. And I think it's going to be layer 2s, because layer 2 is going to allow for sub-cent transactions for everyone in the world, and everyone in the world will be able to trade with everyone else in the world. And of course, that system will completely engulf and kill all other local local systems, like local stock exchange. What is that even? Everything will be on DeFi. Everything will be, or maybe on Uniswap, but on layer 2, and it's all gonna be a sub-cent transaction fee. And when that happens, we're gonna see mass adoption. And it could happen quicker than we think. I think that layer 2s are the key to success here with sub-cent transaction fees. Sub-cent.
Yeah, I completely agree. And this is something that, it's almost become a meme because we've been looking forward to it for so long and there's been so many delays. And yes. But L2 is happening, right? I mean, you've got so much brain power on it. It's going to happen. It's not a question of if, just when. And when it does happen, yes. That's the missing ingredient. I was talking with a really talented founder last night who's got, investment from social capital and all these amazing VCs. And they were sort of saying, where should we? It's a social project that they're building, a chat project, and they were like, well, where is the heart and soul, for us to start? I was like, Ethereum, yes. and it's the network effect, not just with investors, with developers, with users. It's this amazing network effect, and so scaling Ethereum, it's just not even a question of how important that's going to be for mass adoption, because all these other chains, if Ethereum was working fast, probably would be out of business, like they just yes. wouldn't have that user base. And so, yeah, I couldn't agree more that just even one L2 that's truly working on the main chain that allows for a sort of a seamless usage of Ethereum.
But you know what's important? It is EVM. EVM is on all layer 2s and all other blockchains, which means that as a developer, it's way easier to invest in crypto now with your time, with your team. As an investor with BC, it's also way easier because you're not afraid that you will invest in a project and then another blockchain comes and they pick the wrong blockchain, because that's been a big problem for corporates. Just in 2017, they were thinking, should we pick Ethereum or should we pick EOS? Mm-hmm. This project, are we going to build on Hyperledger, or are we going to build on Corda or EOS? And it's totally different tech stacks. The good thing is that now everything is EVM. Even if this blockchain fails perfect, copy your dApp there. It works perfectly fine from day one.
Is EVM our TCP/IP? Is that fair at this point?
Well, I think that EVM is going to be kind of like the HTML and JavaScript and CSS of crypto, because JavaScript and CSS, all these web technologies, they were created a long time ago, but now they run on completely new engines, completely mm-hmm. new underlying tech, but it's still the same interface for developers. It's still the same technology that developers are using, but how it works under the hood, completely different. The same thing is going to be with EVM. I do believe that EVM will be the future programming platform and the programming interface for finance, but it will probably, who knows, right? But maybe it will not even be running on Ethereum. Maybe it will be running on Solana, but Solana needs to put EVM to be relevant.
They definitely do.
Cardano needs to put EVM. So I don't really care who it will be at the end who puts EVM, but EVM has this network effect. And most importantly, this technology that is the standard doesn't have to be the best. Just like if you think about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, it's 3 programming languages completely different. This tech stack is horrible. If you truly think about it, if they had to redesign how websites are built today, they would probably not pick HTML and then you duct tape JavaScript and then you duct tape CSS and PHP also you somehow duct tape. It's horrible. So, but that doesn't matter because the community still uses it. So the same is with EVM. Is it perfect? Probably not. Will community use it? It looks like that. So it's maybe the best investment from a development standpoint. You as a developer, if you're watching, learn EVM and Solidity and how it works.
And apply for work at Moralis as well as SuperFarm.
Exactly.
So this is a good transition. We've talked about your origins, we've talked about the markets, and now it's time to talk about the reason why we don't get Good Morning Crypto anymore, which is Moralis. And I heard you talking about this for a few months, and then it was almost serendipitous. You DM'd me a few months ago, and you said, "Hey, by the way, do you need anything from Moralis?" And we were just in the process of building out some of our node infrastructure to pull certain data from the blockchain, which it's almost illogical that some of this data that Moralis provides isn't something that has been created by Ethereum Foundation or Etherscan, or why wasn't this an initiative from Consensus? But here we have Moralis just making things easy. Can you talk a little bit about Moralis and how you came up with it and what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so we came up with it because all developers face such disappointment when they start building on Ethereum. Because all developers, before they start learning how to program, they use something like Etherscan. And they think that all of the features that Etherscan has, you can just get by asking a node. You have your web3.js library, and then you can ask an Ethereum node about everything. Turns out it's very limiting. You cannot get a lot of information from the node. If you have a user address, using the node, you cannot get all their balances. You can ask each and every smart contract, hey, does this user has a balance here? And you will get an answer, yes or no, but then you have to ask for everywhere. Given an NFT, you don't know who owns it. I mean, it's crazy. You can ask, does this address owns it? And then you get yes or no, but to just get a list of owners, there is no such standard. So we've built a SDK, and let me, by the way, share the screen, but you have to allow it. We've built this tool that ensures that if you are a developer, you want to build on Ethereum, you get the same tools and you get the same technology that like big projects have. And you don't have to worry about re-implementing everything from scratch, which everyone has to do right now. So let me go to our landing page, Moralis.io, and you can see for yourself. So for example, all dApps need to log in a user and manage their users. What does it mean? It means that they need to get all the transactions, all the assets, all the NFTs for that user. Most dApps need to do that. And now you also have to do it cross-chain. So how do you do it if you don't have something like Moralis? Well, you need to have your own server. You need to read the blockchain yourself. You need to index a bunch of things. You need to basically build up your own databases and do a bunch of calculations and then update your database with each and every block. With Moralis, the idea is that you get one line of code like this. You authenticate your user. And as soon as the user logs in, you have all information about the user, NFTs, transactions, previous transactions, their balances, their current positions that they have in different exchanges, open in decentralized exchanges, without doing anything. You just write this. As soon as they log in, you have it in your database. And that's how it should be. When you build apps, you just have one line of code and it works. The same thing with getting historical transactions. And this is something that you normally now need to do cross-chain if you're building a dApp. With our technology, it's completely automatic. As soon as the user logs in, you get all of their historical transactions. Real-time alerts is very important for projects. For example, you need to know when a user does something on chain, they send a transaction, they start staking, they remove staking, they do some kind of trade, they do some kind of swap, they do some kind of lending. You can get that in real time. If you want to watch a specific smart contract, and when something happens in that specific smart contract, you can also set that up. So you watch specific events that happen on chain. Very easy to set up. So the same thing is with IPFS integration. We integrated it. This is very important for NFT projects. So if you guys are watching and you do some NFT project and you need to upload something to IPFS, this is how it's done. You just write file.save IPFS. You can store images. You can store whatever you want. And of course, then we also have a bunch of tools for NFTs that you guys, for example, are using at SuperFarm, which we also built when we saw your problems and we realized, man, this is something that we can build very, very easily based on our current infrastructure. So we have that, given an NFT, get all items in that collection, given a user, get all NFTs for that user, given a smart contract, ERC721 or 1155, get all previous transactions, and so on and so on and so forth, which is very important. If you want to build some kind of marketplace like OpenSea or Rarible, you cannot just ask the node about these things. You need something like Moralis. So our long-term vision is that building on Web3, building on blockchain should be as easy as building on Web2, because building on Web2, it's very easy now. You want to log in a user with Google, Facebook, with email, it's all done. It's one line of code. You want to save user profile, user image to your database, it's all done. 2 lines of code and you have it in traditional development. In blockchain, you want to do some trivial things, very difficult. Additionally, we have our node service. So this is like in 4-hour Alchemy, you can connect to our nodes, and these are best in class. We've seen when people use them, they report that this is the lowest latency they've ever experienced. This is the best response time. And so we have Ethereum, Binance, Matic. We're going to add Arbitrum. We're going to add Avalanche soon as well. And the best thing is when somebody is using our tech, for example, to log in users or manage users or to get previous transactions, as soon as we add a new blockchain, everything works by default. You as a developer don't have to do anything. So that's also why, people that build on Moralis, they ensure that their dApps are future-proof. Whenever there's a new chain, normally as a project, you have to adapt. You have to figure out, okay, is there any API we can use or is there anything we can add for that blockchain? With us, you don't change anything. It's all automatically added. You have a user that uses Binance and they also use Avalanche, and we add Avalanche. Well, now you have everything about that user on Avalanche. And also we're opening this up to third-party developers, like a app platform, plugin platform. So if we don't build some tech, someone else will build it from the community. Because right now I have projects each and every day writing to me saying, hey Ivan, can you integrate us? Can you integrate this? Can you integrate our service into Moralis? And we're telling them, our developers would love your service, and soon you can build a plugin so that each and every developer with one click can just adopt it. So we feel that this is a very, very important key piece of tech, and we also get great feedback, for example, from you guys. And so thanks a lot for really confirming that you guys are enjoying it, and it helps you a lot. That really means a lot to us as a project, for sure.
Yeah, at first it wasn't really clear what services you guys were providing, and then once we dug in, it's just incredible the amount of pain that you're saving the developers. So you're saving us pain and time, right? And like you said, some of these things are just, they seem it's almost tragic that these things aren't available out of the box from blockchains. I mean, blockchains are databases. How can you not query the database? And it's almost illogical, right? And so what you guys are doing, I think, is from the developer-facing standpoint, it's like water to the desert, man. It's amazing what you guys are doing, and so big congrats. How can the audience, who maybe they are not developers, maybe they want to be developers, is there any way that the general retail audience here in crypto can support your project? Is there a token coming? Like, what are the plans for the future for Moralis?
Yeah, so if you are a retail and you're not a developer, I would advise you to go to, not financial advice, but I will advise you to go to twitter.com, and you go to Moralis and you subscribe. It's Moralis Web3, and subscribe to our Twitter profile. And right now, the best thing you can do to really become part of the community is, if you like a project, tell them about Moralis, share the word, because we can help them a lot. If you hold some kind of coin, let's say that you're watching this and you hold some kind of coin and you want that coin to move, ensure that we are connected to the developers, because we will ensure that their tech really grows 10 times faster. Whatever coin you hold, look at the roadmap and then imagine it was 10 times faster. That's really what we can help you with. So I think that is the best if you are holding and you're investing in coins. And if you are a developer, I don't want to steal your developer, say, Elio, go. If you are a developer, go and get hired by Elio, but we also need developers. Exactly. But if you want to use Moralis, go to docs.moralis.io and start using it. You will join our Discord, and we will figure it out.
Well, I'm super, super excited by everything you guys are building. Really thankful to have you here on the show as well. Do you have any parting little nuggets of wisdom, some free alpha, as they would say on Up Only? And that this could be related to crypto or just life in general, to share with the audience.
Well, it will be interesting to hear what you think about the markets, because while I think that right now it's very uncertain, and the fact that we don't see a lot of the Bitcoin is kind of dead now. It doesn't look good, downward trend. So as long as we don't break 50-day moving average or 20-day moving average, I remain bearish, and I am short-term bearish. Long-term, of course, we're all bullish. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. So short-term, I am still bearish. I think that we may recover until November, December, hopefully end of year pump. But that is a bit optimistic for me. I have to tell you, it wouldn't surprise me if this grinds sideways for February, for March, and then, because crypto can become very boring. Bitcoin in particular can become very boring for quite some time. So what is your view on that? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What is your speculation?
Yeah, I personally think that right now, if we were to turn upwards again, it would probably be bad. I mean, yesterday what I saw on the charts was, if you go to DEX tools, all you see is different Dogcoin memes pumping, and it's not good, right? It's a casino, and the really good projects aren't really moving, and those are the projects that are actually going to provide a better world, a more just, a more equitable world, infrastructure for the future. That's why we're here, right? It's not just about a roulette wheel. And it's nice to make money, but it's really, really nice to upgrade these legacy systems. And that's not happening overnight. Like we said, I hope L2s are back before we go turn bullish again. And it looks like that's at least several months of really getting them out and sort of up and running, and then things running on them smoothly. So I would say that the earliest I think that we should all be hoping for a real bullish turn is the end of the year. Now, that said, I'm always optimistic. I'm always looking at the market and looking for opportunities. Specifically, we started building the gaming project in 2018, and that's because we believe games are pretty disconnected from the movements of Bitcoin. If you like a game, you're going to value your time in it, and if you value your time in it, you'll value your assets or NFTs in that game. It seems like a pretty disconnected world, and so that's the thesis that we're going with, at least for the gaming and NFT side of things. And I think that there could still be a lot of movement, even in a bearish trend, for those markets, which is what I'm really excited to see, how DeFi and NFTs behave if Bitcoin just completely goes sideways sideways and becomes boring. I think there's a lot of potential for those those sectors to continue to move. Pretty much that's how I view crypto right now. You have DeFi and NFTs. Those are the two killer use cases that we've seen come out over the last sort of 18 months or so, and really take form. And I'm just really excited to see what happens, because I do believe that a truly evolved crypto ecosystem behaves a lot more like a tech sector, like a Silicon Valley, where every day users are growing and trying new products, and the sector grows. So I believe that, like you, I think the end of the year would be great, but also potentially optimistic. And the longer it takes, probably the better, because if we end up turning bullish in 2022, chances are we would probably have some sustainable infrastructure. We wouldn't get $300 transaction fees, and that kind of stuff kills the momentum, right? And so I would say that I do believe that we are at a risk of nuking lower. I certainly hope we don't. I certainly hope we get altcoin season. But just like last time, I'll be here each and every day,
exactly.
Working, and I couldn't agree more with your sentiment of going full-time crypto, because this is the industry to be in. It is the best opportunity that you or I or anyone will have in their lifetimes, and focusing on it even through the tough times is the absolute best alpha that I can give.
Exactly. And when you work full time, you don't care about the price a lot. And one thing that I would really wish for is that we're not really dependent on Bitcoin, because we need to grow up from that Bitcoin goes up, some Chinese whale sells Bitcoin, and then DeFi dumps. Why? It's not even connected. And Bitcoin is, because unfortunately for Bitcoin, the development community has not really been evolving that much. So Bitcoin is quite irrelevant in all of this new innovation that is happening on top of DeFi, like lending. Yes, there is still synthetic Bitcoin, but it's just like a sub asset, it's not DeFi native, and it doesn't really matter, how Bitcoin is evolving on DeFi, because it's mainly separate. They basically completely separated themselves, and they've always been separate. And that's why it feels so unnecessary. Why should NFTs and DeFi tank when Bitcoin tanks? So I think that what we could, by the way, see very soon is that some kind of flippening from ETH to Bitcoin. And I know that we've been talking about that in the last bull market also. But when I look into the future, yes, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. We have El Salvador, maybe Brazil, Paraguay adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. It's insane. It's absolutely massive. But at the same time, the value and the innovation in DeFi, I think that's at least 100 times more than Bitcoin's overall potential. If we truly think, the end game, what is the end game for all DeFi versus what is the end game for Bitcoin? Bitcoin could be like gold, it is digital gold, but if you compare gold market cap to tech market cap to derivatives, it's nothing. Gold is 10, 12 for what is 13 trillion or so. And then you look at tech, you look at derivative markets, you look at this whole financial system that is besides it. It's
quadrillion
times bigger. Exactly. It's 100 times bigger. So that's something that we're looking. And what about you, Elio, and SuperFarm? What do you guys have in store for us coming months?
Yeah, we have, we're really excited to push the limits and the boundaries of the NFT medium. We have a lot of, on all three sort of sectors of the project. With the gaming side, obviously we have our games coming. Games, they do, we've been playing the game now for months and months, and we're just refining it to get it to that point where we're really just have that feeling, and we're super excited because everybody's just laughing and having so much emotion when we have our play test, and so we're super excited by that one. We have a lot of amazing, cool, I guess you could call them sort of new types of NFT projects coming that are going to be debuting on SuperFarm. We couldn't be more excited about those, as well as the technology. We see the toolkit for NFT creators is just so nascent, right? It's so basic, and that's where we want to focus, is to be, to give creators the tools they need. Just like we've seen the most successful, I see NFTs as content, and I think that what we've seen is with content creation platforms that really empower their users with the best tools, have a fantastic community that grows. And so those are the sort of three areas that we're really, really focused on. And obviously, if the market comes back, we'll do more. We'll start incubating and launching more projects. We have a bunch of projects lined up for when the market conditions change, but we don't think we're not going to force projects out into the market right now. now because it's just the market doesn't support it right now. So, but as soon as the market turns up again, we'll be happy to start sort of helping a lot of new projects launch as well through the Super Starter program. Again, it's just it's a fun time, and it's a great time to be building. And I can't wait to get some of these key features out before the market even goes back up again. So that's what my excitement is being ready for that next wave. And again, just like you, I'm happy to be building for the next few months while this takes its time to work its way out.
Perfect, Elio. Fantastic.
Well, Ivan, thank you so much for coming on the channel. As always, we learn so much from you. Moralis is for sure a project that everybody needs on their radar. Even if you're not a developer, especially if you are a developer or a project, guys, go check out Moralis. Go check out Ivan on Tech on Twitter, now verified.
Exactly, today, yes.
Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Once again, thanks for coming out, and we really look forward to what you have in store for us for the future.
Thanks, Elio. Likewise.
Take care, buddy.